There are concerns from big operators. So we will be looking at some study which will include business models, regulatory frameworks, and how best to approach those issues. When you talk about business community, we collaborate with everyone. If you find a need that we also see that will help any of the business community, we are definitely prepared to assist. So that's maybe shortly. That's a short answer. Thank you. Any other question, comments? Yes, please.
Thank you. My name is Maktar Sek from UNECA. I just want to support the proposal of my colleague from the business sector. I think in your 5 pillars, we have 2 key areas where the business sector has a key role to play. But when you talk about ICT application in various sectors, it's not the role of the government to develop this. You can talk to me, there is an application on e-government, but I think we should encourage our private sector to develop this application. Broadband also, the business sector has an important role to play. I think in your number 5 in the agenda, the collaboration with CTO, we can look at how the business sector or as a UN agency or organization in Africa can collaborate with you to develop this roadmap. But for me, my first impression is very interesting. And UNECA also is very available to work with you in several areas, but because we are already in the board of all this activity. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much for those comments. I didn't mention to you that the CTO is a membership organization. We have members who are from the Commonwealth. We have members, that is member states, governments. We have member state governments that are not Commonwealth countries that are members. And we have a large number of sector members. And they vary from large companies like Vodafone UK, like British Telecom UK, to smaller companies. And just recently, I just got news today that Digital Bridge Institute has just applied to be a member. And we have quite a few of them who are coming in. So we take the requirements of this business community very seriously. They drive our agenda, we invite them to our events, we give them opportunities to provide the information on the services which they provide. So I will encourage anyone to become part of our membership. Our membership fees are very attractive. When I say attractive, that is they are low, so it's easy to join. And Mr. Lufuye, I will send you an application form so that by Friday, before I get to London, a copy will be there. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Because we still have a heavy agenda. And ECA, like we discussed, definitely will be collaborating with you. And I see some synergies in what we're doing. Thank you. Tony, please.
Thank you. I too would like to congratulate you on your appointment and also remark that I notice you have really touched the ground running, and that is impressive. Thank you very much for the 5-point agenda. One small point that I just want to seek clarity on is on cybersecurity. The issue of cybersecurity, which is one of the 5 points, and I do realize that this is a very, very critical area because things like e-commerce, e-applications, those are unavoidable, and the world is definitely going that way. Even us in Africa, we are going that way, but the only risk, the only danger that we foresee is that area of cybersecurity, because we realize the internet is just a wide network which is very open and which is very risky, very dangerous. The cyberspace is perceived as very, very dangerous because you don't know the enemy, where the enemy is sitting. Enemy could be, the server, the person could be sitting in South Africa, the server is in the Bahamas, and they strike in India. So we just want to, I just want to find out what sort of programs you have in mind in terms of that area. And I noticed also the biggest challenge is public awareness. So the public, because they are not aware of the risks, they just shun some of, like take even someone like me. I've realized if I might want to buy something online, for instance, but out there are so many people who are selling, so many institutions that are selling, but they don't secure their websites, so that the moment I use my credit card on that site, next thing I hear my credit card is being used in Russia, and I've never been to Russia. So as a result, everybody I talk to, I'm warning them against just buying things online, because you may get your thing delivered, but afterwards, if they don't protect their site, if their payment portals, what do you call them, if there's no protection, definitely then their customers are at risk. So I just want to find out what sort of programs, what angle you are tackling this, especially given that the threat can come from member countries, CTO member states, and non-CTO member states. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that Tracy is here. He will talk about the cyber governance model, which the cybercrime initiative, which we are developing in conjunction with the ComSec. Now, we don't have one size that fits all. We have a cyber governance model. And what we do is that based on each country's request, we then respond. For example, Botswana, where you are currently based, did request us to assist to prepare a cybersecurity strategy. So we sent a team there. They sat with the officials there, the whole stakeholder community, and we looked at the existing legislation and said, how do we go from here? Using a model, we then assisted them in developing that strategy. That process is ongoing. Now, in Nigeria, they tell us, look, the issue right now is cybercrime. How do we fight cybercrime? So we told them, look, what we can do is that you've already adopted a cybercrime legislation, the Cyber Act legislation. Now, we now need to have capacity building, awareness. How do you put that act in practice? What strategies are you going to adopt to tackle cybercrime? So next month, we're having an event in Nigeria, a 3-day event, where we are bringing experts from the UK and also from local expertise from South Africa, from Ghana, to sit with all the local communities. And the target are one, law enforcement agencies, the telecom operators, service providers. We will sit together, look at the current acts, look at where the act is failing, if you like, look at the role that each one can play, and develop a strategy for implementation. So it varies from country to country, but all starts with the model that we have adopted, which the ministers have adopted. So our work is based on the request of members. Thank you.
Okay, very good, but I have one problem. You know, in Africa, we have this AU Convention on Cyber Security and Data Protection, adopted by the head of state. And I don't know how many members country, how many countries are member of Commonwealth. I think we have, how many African countries are member in 20, I think, huh? Yeah. But the issue is you have also this cybercrime governance. How we need to cooperate, yeah, between, we need a collaboration between the CTO and AUC. Yeah, but it's very important. But now it is this convention has been adopted since January by the head of state, and some countries start now to transpose this law at the national level. And I think it's a good opportunity to have a discussion with AU to see how we can combine this two strategy. Yeah, otherwise we are going to have overlap.
Good. Thank you. Our approach, at least my approach, is to minimize bureaucracy. Since we're dealing on the country-by-country level, we go to the country, and then we also examine all the legislation around that country. If you take Nigeria, for example, we look at what ECOWAS has done. We don't ignore it, because Nigeria belongs to ECOWAS. We look at what the AU has done, because Nigeria belongs to the AU. We also look at the Budapest Convention, because Nigeria is part of the global community. So in our work, we make sure that at the end of the day, we want Nigeria to sign up to that convention, all the requirements there, and that's how we approach. At the end of the day, we want to see Nigeria have a model that suits Nigeria and also in conformity with all the agreement that Nigeria has made with other stakeholders. So we are working together. Last month, I was in Lublin, and we had a very good discussion with Mokhtar, to the extent that when we called the GAC meeting, we actually combined it with the African meeting. And the interesting part of it is that they provided us free lunch, So there's some gains. Thank you. Let's stop there, and let's pass the mic to Mark. Mark is senior advisor on policy issues with the UK government, and he will tell us a few things about what they're doing over there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Shola. Thank you, and good morning, everybody. I'm very glad you can make it, despite all the competing demands on your time with this IGF program. It's very good of you to join us, and it's much appreciated. One of the key outputs from this IGF is a document. It's called IGF Policy Options for Connecting the Next Million, maybe billion, I should say. Maybe you are well aware of it. It's the product of a year-long program of intersessional work, which the IGF Multi-Stakeholder Advisory Group, the MAG, which I'm a member of, set in train. It's had inputs, over 80 contributions to it, including from regional IGFs, such as the African IGF, the Asia-Pacific IGF, the Latin American and Caribbean IGF, and the European IGF called Eurodig. So Commonwealth members and communities and governments and stakeholders have all contributed to this very important document. And it's a very timely document because bridging the digital divide is a key issue which is being discussed in the UN General Assembly at this time as part of the review of the implementation of the outcomes from the World Summit on the Information Society in 2005. And also the Sustainable Development Goals have just been agreed. So this document is a demonstration of how the IGF has been engaging on issues of sustainable development and the contribution that the ICTs and in particular the internet and access to the digital economy plays in achieving social and economic goals and realizing sustainable development and bridging the divide. 3 billion people are connected to the internet now, but 4 billion still are not able to benefit from the social and economic aspects, the benefits, the social and economic benefits which the internet brings. So that's a huge challenge, and this is a major step forward, this document. And it's a tool, it's a resource, if you've looked at it, which I strongly encourage you to do. There are two particular papers. There's a synthesis document and a compilation of the inputs. And the synthesis document has 5 sections, 5 areas of activity: developing infrastructure, increasing usability, enabling users, ensuring affordability, and policy options for creating the environment. So these are all key issues, and has a number of recommendations flowing from the inputs on these issues. So the question is, what can we in the Commonwealth, as the Commonwealth community, do to take this output document forward at this time? And the Commonwealth session here, and also Commonwealth meetings in other fora, including ICANN, which Shola touched on earlier. We have the Commonwealth community in ICANN, can have a role to play. And I set out very briefly here some sort of options that we might consider. First of all, can we as the Commonwealth community help disseminate this outcome document and its recommendations and policy options in a quick and effective way, so that the people who need to read it, the government policymakers, the private sector community, and other stakeholders involved in creating the enabling environment for access to the internet, in bringing more communities onto the internet so that they benefit from all the applications and innovations that the internet can provide. So there's the question of disseminating this outcome. What can we do to play our part as a community of countries and stakeholders to increase awareness of it and promote its take-up, because it is a tool, it's a resource. We also have the opportunity, as Shola hinted at earlier, with regard to creating a forum for discussion for this. We have had a Commonwealth Internet Governance Forum entity in the past. It has met with stakeholders during the global IGF, and there has been a very useful website, a portal for promoting information and promoting engagement and interaction. That website is currently dormant. CTO is looking at reviving it and developing it as a Commonwealth tool on internet governance. So there is the opportunity to use the IGF, Commonwealth IGF website, and to develop engagement. And India the Indian government has indicated that they are looking at the possibility of convening a Commonwealth Internet Governance Forum meeting in the middle of next year, when that could be a platform for reviewing this document and enacting cooperation between governments, private sector, and other stakeholders to take forward some of the recommendations in this document. So it's timely for us to consider this, as I think, as a Commonwealth community, and I look forward to hearing your views at this meeting now, your first take, if you like, on how we should take this important work of the IGF forward intersessionally through activities during the next year, leading up to the next IGF, and we're pretty confident that the review in New York will renew the mandate of the IGF, and that there will be an IGF in Mexico. Mexico, as you may well know, has offered to host IGF 11 next year. So I invite your views on this, and we haven't got much time for a substantive discussion now, of course, but we can carry on online with views on and suggestions to take forward this work of the IGF. Thank you, Shola. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any comments? Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for that brief. I think there is something we can add, for example, to the policy option for connecting the next billion. It has been highlighted at this meeting a gigantic step that has been taken in Nigeria to deepen IGF discussions, even down to the grassroots. talking about subnational IGF. So I think it would be a good thing to append that to that document. And also for CTO to underscore the importance of getting more people at the grassroots to understand the issues. For example, since cybersecurity is a major header for CTO, I think people really need to do something themselves to protect themselves. When they talk about cybersecurity, it's not something you have to do up there, but just basic know-how and using some basic tools. For example, parents knowing what to do to activate parental control. That's as simple as that will really prevent children from being barred from the internet. Because there's a general rule that don't go put them to the internet. But there are a lot of tools there that will help children to learn. But they just need to know how to control it. So those are the things we could really emphasize again going forward. Thank you.
Thank you for that contribution. Yes, can we? And please let us know. Why don't you sit here? And thank you.
My name's Belinda Exelby. I'm with the GSMA. We are a member, an associate member of the CTO, so it's very nice to be here and to meet you again with your new role, so congratulations. Just with regard to the capacity building related to internet governance and some of the issues you've just mentioned around child protection and so on, I wanted to flag that the GSMA has a capacity building program, and we have courses on both of those issues, which we'd be very happy to share with the CTO, allow you to use with your members, maybe post on the materials on your website if that would be helpful. That would obviously be free of charge, there's no cost involved, and we're happy to come to perhaps any of your meetings if you would like us to deliver any of those courses to your members. So I just thought I'd bring that up. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Just to let you know that I'm still expecting a response from GSMA. We are having a cybercrime workshop in Nigeria, and I'm still waiting for an email. I've just checked right now. I've not seen anything.
I can confirm we are sending a speaker.
Oh, good, good. You've made my day.
Yes, just a quick reaction to the point about whether we should perhaps focus on specific topics. That was another one of my questions, really, as we look ahead to further discussions in a Commonwealth forum. What if we do that, what particular topics might they be? Possibly child protection. And the Commonwealth IGF has done work on child protection in the past. There is a toolkit which was developed. It's one of the first tangible outputs from the Commonwealth IGF. But we can look at that whole area again, and issues of parental controls and advice on that is one aspect of that, of course. Thank you.
So do we have any specific... Yes, please.
I have only one remark. But the issue of IGF is very important for all. But we should recognize the involvement of the government are very low for government in IGF process. And when you, in Africa, at the national level also, some countries have their national IGF, others doesn't have. I think CTO can help with as a partner to put in place this national IGF. At the sub-regional level, they're working well. You don't have any problem at sub-regional level. But for each region, they have their sub-regional IGF, and also we have the African IGF. But now the issue is to create this national IGF, and also to try to convince the government to be more involved on the IGF issue. But you have several important issues to discuss: broadband, regulatory environment, ICT application. But at the first, I forget to mention the access is very important for the African member in CTO. For the developed country, it's not a problem, but for the African country, I think the access is very important. I think it is one point you shall look at carefully. My concern is more how to find a mechanism to involve more government in the IGF process. he highlighted very well the link with this IGF wishes and the Sustainable Development Goal. Yeah. The government will be in around 16 December in New York to have a resolution on the wishes and the IGF. But we need, they have the discussion before. And to come to adopt one document, prepare 3 months before. Their involvement is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Tony, please.
Thank you. I'm not so sure if I indicated earlier. I'm Tony Chigazira, the Executive Secretary for KRASA. I just want to seek clarity, not on the presentation. Thank you for providing us some information on what is happening, the document that we are now going to look forward and peruse. But I just want to take further what Belinda brought up, because we have a partnership with GSMA, and they have trained our members. They came, they gave us the training. So I just wanted to find out whether that information is indeed not protected by IP or proprietary information, which we can actually post on our websites freely, and how much of it we can post, and if we can actually get more to what we already have, because I attended as well the training, and I realized how very, very useful it is. It opened my eyes to so many issues which we always take for granted, or we not even take into account, especially concerning the child online protection. So I just wanted to seek more clarity on those issues which Belinda raised. Thank you.
Thank you. GSMA, quickly, please.
Thank you very much for your comment and your kind words, and I'm really, really pleased that you found the courses so useful. The materials are not protected by any sort of copyright. You're free to post them if you wish. And just to let you know, we've also started rolling out some of our courses online. So there are only 2 so far. One of them is the child protection course. So people can take them remotely. They last for 4 weeks. You commit to do a couple of hours per week of study, so that's another option. But yes, we're very happy to share our materials. We believe they're examples of best practice, and they don't steer in a particular position. They're just basically explaining the facts as educational material. So thank you for the question.
Well, thank you. Without any other comments, then I'll go to Tracy, just for 5 minutes, if you can, to tell us what the cybercrime initiative. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Secretary General, and welcome to all to Brazil. Hope you all are having a good time. So I'm here to report on the Commonwealth Cybercrime Initiative, which is a program of the Commonwealth Secretariat to assist member countries through multi-stakeholder partnership, created to deliver a comprehensive program to reduce cybercrime. Now, this initiative is a truly multi-stakeholder one. The CCI was created in 2011 under the auspices of the Commonwealth Connects program, which was itself created by the Commonwealth Heads of Government in their 2005 meeting in Malta. This was to bridge the digital divide. The CCI was formally endorsed by CHOGM during the 2011 meeting in Perth. How does the CCI work? It is a coordination body based at the Secretariat, which utilizes a multi-stakeholder partnership model to coordinate approximately 40 international organizations and member countries, and as a primary source of resources to conduct scoping missions and implement action plans. Members of the consortium bring specific cybercrime skills and resources to the consortium and collectively create synergies to assist member countries. The CCI is currently located in the Secretariat and staffed by Secretariat staff. The CCI acts as a consultative body and to the Commonwealth Secretariat on cybercrime, and there's a steering committee which is made up of country members such as Canada, Fiji, Malta, New Zealand, India, Sri Lanka, Trinidad and Tobago, UK, and Uganda. And the institutional members such as Commonwealth Secretariat, the CTO, Interpol, ICANN, and the ITU. And we also have an observer from the United States State Department. The consortium, just briefly, consists of members such as the APWG, that's the Anti-Phishing Working Group, the AUC, the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, ComNet, Council of Europe, Department of International Development, the UK, Interpol, Microsoft, OAS, World Bank, UN ODC, and so on. Just to give you a brief as to what the recent successes of the CCI have been, and I'll go through some countries here and indicate what has been happening. Now, if you're from that country, you may want to give some additional clarity as to what's been going on and perhaps ask some questions. In Ghana, the CCI established joint collaboration between the Open University and 3 Ghanaian institutions to build centers of excellence, completed a review of cybercrime legislation, and with the ITU, developed a child online protection strategy, the implementation of which was supported by the deployment of a CPS resident criminal justice advisor to Accra. In Botswana, the CCI has been instrumental in reviewing and updating of the Cybercrime Act of 2007. In the East African region, the Commonwealth Secretariat partnered with the UN ODC under the CCI to establish an East Africa cybercrime network, bringing together prosecutors, police, academics, and other stakeholders, including Interpol, at a 3-day meeting in Kampala. Ongoing activities, including sharing of best practices and key regional international trends, are delivered through an online collaboration platform that the Secretariat is offering. In countries such as Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados and Grenada, several national needs assessments have been conducted, including one just recently as October 2015, by joint ComSec OAS teams to produce action plans for member states. In Dominica and in Trinidad and Tobago, several further initiatives have been happening, and there's work to be done in 2015 to further along this path. In India, the CCI was represented at the India Cybersecurity and Cybercrime Conference, and fruitful dialogue was established between the governments of India and the CCI. The CCI has also established a virtual currencies working group to consider the impact of virtual currencies on member states, including issues such as, of course, Bitcoin, particularly as a driver of cybercrime. The report from this working group is to be issued shortly, and Interpol, UNODC, IMF, World Bank, and CTO are joint partners in this. The ComSec joined the Council of Europe's Budapest Convention on Cybercrime as an observer in June 2015, and ComSec joined Interpol's Global Cybercrime Expert Group this year as well. Moving ahead in 2015-16, there'll be several needs assessments being established in the Caribbean region, beginning in November this month, 2015. There'll be a review of the Commonwealth Model Law and Harare Scheme, focusing on improved models of mutual legal assistance and electronic evidence rules. There'll be continued implementation of the Kampala outcomes with establishment of networks on child online protection and university partnerships in Eastern Africa, and a working group to develop technical guidance on legislative, regulatory, and criminal justice responses to virtual currencies will continue meeting beginning Q1 2016. And of course, there's a joint ComSec CTO project to enhance cooperation between law enforcement and telecom sector to counter cybercrime in Nigeria. So that's it for the the highlights of 2015-2016. And then I'll hand you back over to the SG for any further elaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy, for that very brief presentation. Do you have any questions? I know we have 3 minutes left. There is another meeting going to be holding here. Yes, quickly.
Yeah, thank you for that. What is the status of SAT in this member state, especially Global South?
Yes, so the CCI has been looking at that, and actually, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the best practice forum on certs, C-certs that's been going on in the IGF. There was actually a meeting held I think yesterday, and discussing even, there's an African CERT organization that was set up, and the CCI has been examining that and looking to bring that thinking into its work. As you know, the ITU has been funding setting of CCERTs around the Commonwealth and other countries. So there's an opportunity to probably use the CCI to source resources and capacity building work from the CCI through the ITU and other agencies to set up CCERTs and to further strengthen CCERTs within the African region and other regions in the Commonwealth.
Thank you. Mark, do you have any closing remarks?
Thank you, sir. Just very briefly, thank you very much for joining us today, and we look forward to your contributions, and please get in touch online about taking forward the policy options for access for the next billion paper, and specific topics that can be considered for the agenda of a physical Commonwealth IGF meeting which India is planning to host in the middle of next year. So thank you very much for attending. There is an attendee list I circulated, so please, if you haven't added your contact details to that, please do so as we finish this session. Thank you.
Well, just last word, thank you very much. I think what we're taking home from here, we've commented on the vision 5-point agenda, which I have elaborated. We have also been informed about the cybercrime initiative. Watch out for the website of the Commonwealth IGF. It's going to be very active very soon. There will be a standalone IGF next year in India. And we wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Thank you so much. Bye.